They thought they would be scared and blink, but they forgot who they are messing with. It's 6:03 a.m. In the steamy blue waters of the Caribbean south of Curaçao, a U.S. Navy carrier strike group worth over $13 billion is moving with purpose. But this morning, they weren't sailing into a war zone. They were sailing into a trap. The first shafts of dawn cut across the flight deck of the USS George Washington, but the peaceful morning is shattered by a threat moving at high speed. 3 Venezuelan patrol ships tear across the Caribbean Sea at a blurring 28 knots. They aren't just observing, they aren't just shadowing, they are blocking. Their engines are screaming, white water curling off their hulls as they angle straight for the heart of the US Navy carrier group. This is a deliberate hostile formation. On the massive deck of the aircraft carrier, motion freezes. Every sailor feels the sudden cold spike of realization. Then the sound. The collision alarm erupts across the flight deck, an electronic scream that cuts through the wind and the roar of the sea. In the ship's brain, the Combat Information Center, CIC, the air crackles with tension, spiking like a live wire. 3 fast contacts bearing 217, range 12 nautical miles, closing fast. On optical zoom, the flags snap into a chilling focus: red, blue, and yellow. Venezuela. This isn't shadowing, someone says flatly. This is a wall. A strike group, a sovereign piece of US territory worth over $13 billion, is now seconds away from having to choose: blink or collide. The USS Gravely, an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer, instantly transforms from escort to spearhead. Her massive turbines roar to life, pushing her to near full power. 10 degrees starboard. The wake foams white across the strike group as the Gravely cuts across the carrier's bow to initiate an intercept. Comms light up, calm, clipped, and surgical. Contacts closing at 28 knots. Recommend intercept posture, maintain course. The carrier holds steady. The commander's will is absolute. We do not divert. The flight deck explodes into emergency motion. Tie-down chains snap off an MH-60R Seahawk helicopter. Rotor blades are unfolded, safety pins are pulled out. The crew moves with a frantic, controlled efficiency. Over the intercom, a single line of grim context cuts through the noise. They're trying to block us. Sleek hulls, tight formation, no deviation from the incoming contacts. A carrier group that isn't slowing down is speeding toward 3 hostile ships running a blockade. This isn't a game. This is a calculated test of nerve. The commanding officer of the carrier doesn't maintain course and speed. He maintains a challenge. 6:05 a.m., the engines thunder. The USS Gravely pushes ahead, a grey spear cutting across the carrier's bow. Her mission: intercept, show posture, hold the line. In the CIC, the surface watch officer's voice cuts through the mechanical hum. Contacts now inside 10 nautical miles. Bearing steady, speed constant at 28 knots. The captain of the Gravely leans forward, his hand steady on the console. His voice is the sound of absolute control. Visible posture, no targeting, let them see us. Every sailor understands the Navy's unspoken rule: deterrence through presence. We don't have to shoot to show we are ready to fight. The destroyer banks slightly, the turbines screaming at over 90% power. Now, the chilling, deliberate statement. Her 5-inch Mark 45 gun turret pivots 10 degrees starboard. It moves with a slow, unmistakable mechanical groan. No lock, no laser, just visibility. The message is simple: we are aware of you, and we are prepared for any contingency. Up above, the MH-60R Seahawk gets the call. Razor 21, you are go for launch. Eyes on, weapons cold. Copy Gravely, wheels up in 90 seconds. The helicopter crew moves with precision drilled into muscle memory over years of deployments. Tie-downs clear, rotors flex, a sailor yells clear left, and the Seahawk lunges upward into the humid haze. Inside the CIC, the radar plots update. The Venezuelan patrol craft, 3 Gary-class vessels, fan out slightly, keeping formation like chest pieces sliding into position. Their wakes form a shallow V, aimed right across the carrier's nose. The communications officer transmits again on an open international channel. Unidentified Venezuelan naval vessels. This is a United States warship operating in international waters. You are crossing a restricted formation. Alter course immediately. Silence. No response. Bridge to engineering. Maintain full turbine power. Copy. Full power set. Below decks, sailors strap in at weapon stations. The CIWS mounts, the phalanx defense system nicknamed Sea-Whiz, hum online. The barrels begin their diagnostic whine, rotating at idle speed. This system can spit 4,500 rounds per minute. It's not panicking, but it is ready. At this moment, you are the captain of the USS Gravely. Your mission is to protect the carrier group, but a single reckless maneuver could ignite a shooting war. The Venezuelan ships refuse to answer, and their gun turrets are visible. Do you increase speed to try and pass them, or do you slow down and risk conceding the lane? Let me know your call in the comments right now. Would you hold course? Through binoculars, the contacts are visible now, low silhouettes cutting white scars across the blue water. At this range, even without a radar lock, everyone aboard the Gravely can feel the hostile intent. Bridge CIC, range to lead vessel now 8.6 nautical miles. Copy, log and maintain intercept course. The carrier, meanwhile, doesn't move an inch. No heading change, no slowdown. In naval language, that is the loudest message of all. You started this, you end it. By 6:08 a.m., the Seahawk clears the deck, banking south toward the contacts, 3 fast patrol ships running in V formation, 6 nautical miles ahead of the USS George Washington. Razor 21 airborne, the pilot reports, altitude 500 feet, eyes on formation in 1 minute. Down below, the USS Gravely surges through the open water, shadowing the carrier's flank like a guard dog off its leash. Her grey hull cuts a clean, purposeful wake. On her foredeck, the Mark 45 5-inch gun sits rotated forward, visible, deliberate, silent. In the carrier's combat direction center, the surface plot looks like a slow-motion collision course. 3 red icons, Venezuela, 1 massive blue one, US strike group. Distances shrinking. Range now 5.4 nautical miles, calls the tactical officer. The reply is immediate, drilled into them from decades of Cold War-era standoffs. Weapons visible only, do not paint targets. Discipline in these moments is the weapon. The Seahawk arrives first. Its FLIR pod locks onto the vessels. Visual confirmation on 3 Gary-class patrol craft, the sensor operator reports. Formation steady, heading north-northeast, speed 27 knots. The details stream back instantly. Venezuelan flags whipping in the wind. Binoculars trained back toward the US ships. Razor 21 to Gravely, they're in blockade posture. Recommend continued visual intercept. Copy, maintain eyes, no overflight. Aboard the destroyer, the crew braces as the phalanx turret hums into life. The barrels glint under the dawn light. Every camera on deck records. Every radar pulse is logged, not aggression, but evidence. Bridge CIC, lead vessel now within 4.9 nautical miles. Copy, maintain posture. The strike group still hasn't slowed down. Jets are secured. Launch crews are ready for any situation. Catapults cold but energized. The carrier group's commander knows. Turning now means conceding the lane. The pilot mutters under his breath, "They're holding the wall." Back aboard Gravely, the tension is real. Venezuelan ships are fast approaching. No one is responding from the Venezuela ships. You are 1 blink away from the confrontation. No one wants to blink first. The distance is reducing to 3.8 nautical miles. The communications officer transmits again on an open international channel. Unidentified Venezuelan naval vessels. This is a United States warship operating in international waters. You are crossing a restricted formation. Alter course immediately. Still no response. At this moment, you are the captain of the USS Gravely. Your mission is to protect the carrier group, but a single reckless maneuver could ignite a shooting war. The Venezuelan ships refuse to answer, and their gun turrets are visible. Do you increase speed to try and pass them, or do you slow down and risk conceding the lane? Let me know your call in the comments right now. Would you hold course? The commander of the strike group, watching the plot from the carrier's flag bridge, mutters under his breath, This isn't an escort maneuver. They're staging a blockade. Back on the Venezuelan side, the lead ship issues another transmission, this time in Spanish. Bolivarian security zone. Change course. The American reply is immediate, unwavering, and transmitted in perfect, clipped English. Negative. Operating lawfully in international waters under UNCLOS. Maintain safe separation. At 3.4 nautical miles, the geometry is no longer abstract. It becomes personal. The Venezuelans shift formation, their bow waves almost parallel to the Gravely's wake. They are now actively attempting to cut across the path of the carrier. Inside the destroyer's CIC, the crew's breathing syncs with the radar pings. Bridge EW, no targeting transmissions yet, but they're painting us with surface search radar. Copy. Log every pulse. The phalanx turret on the Gravely turns a few degrees more, just enough for the sunlight to catch its rotating barrels. The message is silent but unmistakable. We see you. We are tracking you. We are ready. Aboard the Venezuelan lead ship, binoculars flash back in the same dawn light. The next 30 seconds feels like 30 minutes. Every order, every gesture, every movement on the deck could ignite the world's next headline. They're not backing off, someone whispers on the Gravely. And neither are we, the captain replies. Keep our bow pointed right through them. They wanted to block a carrier group. Let's show them what that looks like. This is the ultimate test of resolve. It's not about the size of the gun. It's about the strength of the nerve behind the command. The US Navy, with its rules of engagement and protocols, must maintain professionalism against pure provocation. Any error would be disastrous. Then, almost imperceptibly, the impossible happens. The tone shifts. Venezuelan engines throttle down. From 28 knots, they ease down to 20. The tight, aggressive formation holds its shape, but the aggression drains from the motion. For the first time, both sides stop closing distance. The standoff holds, a precarious balance between pride and physics. The will of the United States Navy to hold course in international waters, to refuse to be bullied, has forced a reaction. 6:18 a.m. engines settle. The wake lines smooth out across the Caribbean like someone finally exhaled. The Venezuelan patrol boats drift from aggression to observation. Their bows angle east, throttles eased back to 18 knots. On the USS Gravely, the tension doesn't break, it merely bends. Bridge CIC, contacts reducing speed, formation dispersing slightly. Copy, hold course, keep recording. The Seahawk circles one last time overhead, its camera still locked on the lead hull. The heat bloom from its exhaust dims as power levels drop. Razor 21 to Gravely, visual on course change, they're pulling away. Roger that, maintain altitude and observe until full separation. On the carrier's bridge, the commander doesn't celebrate. The USS George Washington stays on heading 217, 20 knots, steady as a freight train. He folds his arms and says quietly, "Keep it that way, we don't reward bluffs." Down in the CIC, operators log every second. Radar sweeps, bearing changes, timestamps. The moment of near crisis becomes data, evidence that professionalism and discipline beat provocation every single time. At 6:23 a.m., the Venezuelan patrol craft officially turn east-southeast, running parallel to their coastline, range 6.2 nautical miles and widening. No shots fired, but the message was louder than any explosion. Caracas blinked first. By 6:30 a.m., the strike group resumes standard formation. The Seahawk returns to deck, rotors folded in with the sound of steel relief. For the sailors, it's just another day logged and filed. At 6:45 a.m., the sea looks calm again, like none of it ever happened. The carrier group pushes onward. Flight deck crews return to routine. Sunlight spills over the steel grey deck, but every sailor on that deck knows what really took place. No gunfire, no missiles, just nerve, precision, and posture. This wasn't about firepower, it was about who would back down. And out here, patience and resolve are their own weapons. The message was clear. Freedom of navigation doesn't pause for politics. For Caracas, this was a moment of theater. For Washington, it was Tuesday. The professionalism displayed by the US Navy in this encounter is a textbook example of how to handle geopolitical provocation without escalating to conflict. The men and women of the US Armed Forces held their line, protected international law, and ensured the safety of their formation through unwavering discipline. If you appreciate the quiet resolve and strength of the United States military in the face of threats like this, let me know right now. I want you to flood the comments section and write, "Proud of the USA." Your comment helps this story get seen by more people who need to understand the kind of strength and discipline that keeps the peace on the world's oceans. And if you enjoyed this detailed breakdown of a true maritime encounter, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. We have more stories of true-life sea encounters, tactical breakdowns, and geopolitical analysis coming soon. Fair wind, sailors, and remember, coffee always tastes a whole lot better when you didn't have to dodge an aggressive patrol boat before sunrise. I'll see you in the next one.